A U.S. court has upheld a ban on selling guns to individuals who have a marijuana card. This is a Dromsy story that was basically started back in 2011 when a Nevada resident by the name of Rowan Wilson tried to purchase a gun for self-defense. Now, she also had a marijuana card, and it turned out that she didn't pass a background check because federal law prohibits you from using marijuana, and if you do use marijuana, you're not allowed to buy a firearm. Now, the ruling by the 9th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals applies to the 9 western states that fall under the court's jurisdiction, including California, Washington, and Oregon. The court also said Congress had reasonably concluded that marijuana and other drug use raises the risk of irrational or unpredictable behavior with which gun use should not be associated. And by the way, I mean, it's not like legal substances like alcohol would do anything like that. Right? Yeah. Alcohol drinkers should be able to buy guns.
And yet there are some people who are literally making the case today in America that you should be able to bring loaded weapons to a bar. Like where they're going to drink that stuff that makes them oftentimes irrational. And I've been there, brother. Okay. And so look, let's talk about all the different ways that this is insane and hypocritical. So if you can have alcohol and have a gun, you can be addicted to alcohol and have a gun.
Yep.
You could be on a suspected terrorist watch list and get a gun.
In some states, you can beat the shit out of your wife and still buy a gun. Okay? Like, that's where we're living right now.
There's almost nothing you can do that'll prevent you from getting a gun except smoking pot. What kind of an insane world do we live in? And most people, and not everybody has the same reaction, but most people, when they smoke pot, sit on their couch and don't do much, at least at that moment, right?
Yeah.
So these are not the most dangerous people in America. These are the most chill people in America.
Yeah, no, this is crazy. This is crazy. And look, I kind of understand the reasoning, although I don't agree with it. If something is illegal on a federal level, well, then the government can turn around and say you're not allowed to have a gun because you're guilty of breaking this law. And remember, marijuana is still listed as a Schedule I drug, which is the most dangerous with no medicinal value whatsoever. Of course, that's wrong, and I disagree with it 100%. But it's like, look, I know we've done a lot of stories about how we want some form of gun control, right? That doesn't mean that we're unreasonable. We want reasonable gun control. This is unreasonable, okay? This is the craziest thing that I've read about guns in the country. I was under the assumption that you could buy a gun no matter what, but apparently the only thing you can do wrong is smoke marijuana.
Yeah. Now, look, some states, if you also have a criminal track record, they won't let you buy a gun, et cetera. Yes, there are some other instances, but that terrorist watch list thing is amazing because now the gun rights advocates will say, now, look, to be fair, sometimes there are procedural errors on that terrorist watch list, and about 1, 2, or maybe even 3% of the people on that list got there because of a mistake. So you have a 97% chance of being a terrorist. We're still going to let you have a gun. Now, on the other hand, the guys who are smoking pot, I mean, you got a 100% chance of smoking pot. And so that's it. You are, by definition, super dangerous. The one thing that Americans cannot abide by is a guy who's high and might have access to a weapon.
You know, it is kind of funny, and I don't know, I guess a little ironic, that we've been calling for gun control for quite some time, and now I just realized that I'm one of the few people in the country, because I live in California and I do have a marijuana card, I'm one of the few people in the country that can't buy a gun. I can't fucking buy a gun. It's amazing.
Second rights guys, where are you? Defend Anna, okay? Let her buy a gun. I mean, she won't, but she should have rights as an American.